Hello everybody and welcome back to Right Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So we got new voter registration data. It is yet another month. We're in March of 2025 and Republicans in Pennsylvania are still gaining, and they're gaining to the point where they've cut the active party registration, not the total party registration. Still a little bit of work to do there, but they're doing it. They've cut that to like 187,000 in terms of their deficit to the Democrats. But in terms of active voter registration, they've cut that below 100,000 as it stands today, and they gained a net 5,500 over the past month as well in February. So out of the gate, you are seeing in Pennsylvania, Republicans continue to make the state more favorable to them. Donald Trump, he won it in 2024. Republicans are looking to at least put up a respectable performance in 2026. Of course, defeating Josh Shapiro is going to be tough. But at least if you can run a candidate that can make things close, at least down ballot, you can have a respectable performance. Maybe try to hold on to those congressional districts. I think the 8th they will, but the 7th is going to be somewhat tough on a year that will be a midterm year with a midterm electorate. But still, the more registrations that you have in the bank to work with, the better, and that's good. But this video, it's not just about Pennsylvania. We've talked about Pennsylvania. I've done several videos on Pennsylvania. Probably will continue to do some if we get any major developments in terms of the update for party registration when we get them. But this month's was not necessarily groundbreaking, but still moving the ball in the right direction. But New Jersey, this is the main one I wanted to talk about because the Democrat advantage, you can look at this back in 2020, they had a 1.1 million advantage, and that was cut before the 2024 election to 905,748 voters. So they had that lead. And then in this month alone, it's been significantly cut. You can see that Republicans making up an additional 50,000 registrations over the past month. That is massive. If you want to talk about New Jersey, this is a state that is moving to the right off a cliff, and Donald Trump fell short in the state by 200, not even 300,000 votes, somewhere around 252,000 in that ballpark. So definitely a lot of ground to make up, but already they've made a significant amount of that up since the election. That lead has been cut from 905,000 to 834,000. So that's a net shift in the Republican column of 71,000 registrations. Now, are some of these people, people who are already voting Republican, switching to Republican? Yeah, but here's the deal. It's still a good thing because it makes it easier to find these voters, turn these voters out if they're registered as Republican as opposed to, if they're a legacy Democrat or if they're an independent. So to get them on your side in general is still a net positive ahead of election season, but you're talking about them eating into the lead. It seems insurmountable, but Pennsylvania, when Donald Trump won the state back in 2016, the Democrat lead was bigger than this. And he still was able to go out there and win. Of course, he had a lot of legacy Democrats that switched parties, but still, that's part of the process. When the dam eventually breaks, it's going to be tougher, and it's much tougher now for Democrats to win New Jersey than it was in 2020. Obviously, it's still a state that has ways to go. We understand we're not quite there yet. We're getting there, but we're not quite there yet. But still, you're looking at New Jersey. And this is a state that voted for Joe Biden by nearly 17 points, and then it votes roughly the same as Arizona voted for the Republicans, but for the Democrats. And there are signs that this could continue because you have a lot of places in the state, mainly in the northern part of the state, that have moved right. Are these trends going to continue among, these working class Italian voters, these Hispanic voters that Donald Trump was able to flip into his column? And there really hasn't been a sign of the trend slowing down, and it's possible that it eventually does. But as things stand right now, it does seem as if there's a lot of hope for Republicans in New Jersey. And you're not going to have presidential level turnout this fall, but there is a governor's race that will be taking place this fall in New Jersey. And can Republicans go out there and compete for that? Well, either way, they should try. I think it's going to be closer than people think. The Democrat, their field is divided. And to be fair, our field is too, but I think we're going to coalesce behind the winner of the primary very quickly, whoever that may be. And you're going to see them go out there and at least make a run, because Republicans in New Jersey, they have this renewed hope that their state is a swing state, which it kind of is. And this is a state that by 2028, we're talking about it's going to be on the table. If Donald Trump's approval rating is decent, J.D. Vance is the Republican nominee, the Democrats, who knows who they're going to put up? We have 4 years to go before that takes place. But still, New Jersey is a state that will be competitive at a very minimum. And it is a massive boost, because this was the electoral map going in to this election cycle. Everybody pretty much agreed there would be 7 swing states, but that map is changing. Not only are states like Texas and Florida seemingly even more gone for Democrats, they're not even going to try to contest those states. It seems like New Hampshire is on the table, depending on how well the Republicans do, but the registration data there looks good. New Jersey's on the table. I'm not going to say North Carolina is off the table for Democrats, because I think in a good year they still can win it. But if you look at the voter registration data there, the active registration, Republicans are now in the lead. They've built up their lead. They've done some purges, and mainly Democrat voters were the ones being purged because they were not answering the memo that they sent out to renew. But regardless, more inactive voters have been purged. People move, etc. Things happen. They purge the voters, and Republicans are able to gain, and it leaves less room for any shenanigans in the process. But still, by active party registration, Republicans have that lead that they didn't exactly have before, which is absolutely huge for them and their future prospects in the state. But I'm not ready to say that Democrats can't win the state. But either way, New Jersey and New Hampshire, they're entering the conversation, whereas Arizona and Nevada, given trends, they're kind of leaving the conversation. They're not going to be states that are going to go Republican probably by like 10, but should they go Republican by 5 or more? Yeah, the coalition's going to look a lot different than it did for Republicans in like 2012 in Arizona. They have white working class voters. They've always kind of had them, but they've gained with them. They've gained with Hispanics. They've lost some of these like suburbanites, McCain-style Republicans to the Democrats, and that's true. But still, the coalition is different, but it's just as large to kind of deliver the victories there. Georgia's a little bit of a different story. Moving to the left, yeah, Donald Trump won it. At the same time, the Atlanta Metro, it's not what it was before. I think it'll be competitive in 2028. Of course, the Rust Belt's competitive, but I don't think Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin are going to be this ridiculous uphill climb that they were for Republicans before Trump. Vance is somebody I think can appeal to that region well. Some people are saying he can't turn out voters as well as Trump, but at the end of the day, he can, in my opinion, turn out enough voters to win those 3 states, especially given his upbringing. And New Jersey is on the table. Is New York ready to be on the table? No, not quite. New Mexico, maybe you can talk about it. Republicans still continue to gain there in the party registration data. So you do see that, but regardless, it's like the map is open. But if you win North Carolina, Pennsylvania, you're already there. But let's say you don't win North Carolina, you win New Jersey, you get to 269 electoral votes. You still technically would win the election as a Republican if you hit 269. It's not likely that this would happen. I still think that North Carolina would vote to the right of a state like New Jersey, but is North Carolina still a state that should go Republican? Yeah. And is New Jersey moving to the right significantly? Yeah, absolutely. You still have states like Georgia that are showing signs of drifting to the left. I think Michigan, you could make the case, could move a little bit more to the right. I think Wisconsin is pretty much going to be stagnant. I think that the Supreme Court race, which is very important and will be happening April 1st, so get out and vote if you're in Wisconsin. And if you have friends there, make sure they vote, just because that's a crucial election, could determine the election laws, could determine if Wisconsin's a state that's going to be like a blue-leaning swing state or a red-leaning swing state. It's a very decisive election. Very important. We can't miss it. We can catch the left asleep at the wheel. Rather do that than have them catch us asleep at the wheel, and make sure everybody gets out and votes for Brad Schimmel there. We're going to be talking about that throughout the month. 4 weeks to go before that election. But still, guys, New Jersey, there's a lot of hope on the horizon because they're really eating into the Democrats' advantage, which means that it's going to be a lot easier for Republicans to compete and win elections there. And it kind of shows that, you hear a lot about the left being energized. It would show up and it would be reflected in the voter registration data, but we're just not seeing it anywhere. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.